Hey everyone, welcome back to Echo Your English. Today's conversation is about something very small on the surface, but very heavy inside for many people.
Yeah, this is one of those everyday moments that quietly affects our confidence, our energy, and even our relationships.
We're talking about saying no to plans and the guilt that often comes with it.
A lot of English learners know the words for saying no, but emotionally, it still feels uncomfortable. You worry about sounding rude, selfish, or distant.
And sometimes you say yes even when you're tired, overwhelmed, or just not in the mood, simply because saying no feels harder.
That's why this topic is important, because real English isn't just about grammar, it's about expressing yourself honestly while staying kind.
Today's conversation isn't about rules or perfect sentences. It's about hearing how real people gently say no, explain their feelings, and protect their energy.
If you've ever agreed to plans and then regretted it, or if you've ever felt guilty for choosing rest, this conversation is for you.
And if listening to calm, natural conversations like this helps you feel more confident in English, you might want to stay connected with the channel.
Yeah, subscribing just means you'll keep getting these kinds of real life English conversations in your daily routine.
All right, let's get into it.
So, Emily, do you remember the last time you said yes to plans even though you really wanted to stay home?
Oh, very clearly. It was last month, actually. A friend texted me on Friday evening and asked if I wanted to go out the next day. And the moment I saw the message, I felt tired.
That feeling hits fast, doesn't it? Even before you've decided anything.
Exactly. I hadn't even replied yet, but my body already knew the answer. I wanted a quiet weekend. No plans, just rest.
But I'm guessing you didn't say no right away.
Of course not. I stared at the screen for a few minutes and then typed, "That sounds nice." And as soon as I sent it, I thought, why did I say that?
That sounds nice is such a dangerous sentence.
It really is. It sounds positive, but it traps you because now the other person thinks you're interested.
And then you feel responsible for their expectations.
Yes, and what made it harder was that my friend hadn't done anything wrong. They were just inviting me. The guilt was completely inside me.
That's an important point. Often the guilt doesn't come from the other person, it comes from your own idea of what a good response should be.
I grew up thinking that saying no meant you were being difficult or unkind or not making enough effort.
Same here. Saying yes felt like being polite. Saying no felt like creating distance.
And in English, it can feel even more direct. In some languages, saying no sounds softer, but in English, people worry it sounds too strong.
That's true. A simple no, I can't can feel very sharp if you're not used to it.
So people add a lot of extra words. They explain too much, or they make excuses that aren't even true.
I've done that, saying things like, I'm really busy this weekend, even when I'm just mentally exhausted.
And then you feel guilty twice. First, for saying no, and second, for not being honest.
Exactly. It becomes a cycle, and the more you do it, the harder it feels to break.
One thing that helped me was realizing that plans are invitations, not obligations.
I love that idea. An invitation gives you a choice, it's not a demand.
When I started thinking like that, my language slowly changed. I stopped thinking, how do I escape this? And started thinking, how do I respond kindly?
That shift is important because the goal isn't to reject the person, it's to protect your energy.
Yes, and you can do that with very simple English. You don't need long explanations.
Like saying, I'm going to take it easy this weekend. That sentence is calm and honest.
Or, I'm not feeling very social right now, but thank you for asking. That one took me a long time to feel comfortable saying.
It sounds gentle, though. It doesn't close the door forever.
That's another fear people have. They think saying no means they'll never be invited again.
But usually the opposite happens. When you're honest, people trust you more.
I noticed that too. Once I stopped making excuses, my friends stopped pushing.
And they didn't take it personally.
Because I wasn't making it personal. I wasn't saying, I don't want to see you. I was saying, I need something different right now.
That distinction matters a lot.
Especially for English learners listening right now. It's not about perfect sentences, it's about tone and intention.
And tone can be soft even when the answer is no.
Exactly. Saying no doesn't have to sound cold.
It can sound calm, thoughtful, human.
And honestly, once I started practicing this, the guilt slowly got quieter.
Not gone completely, but easier to manage.
Yes, it's like building a small muscle. The more you practice saying no kindly, the less heavy it feels.
And the more natural your English becomes in real situations.
Because real life isn't about always saying yes.
Sometimes the most honest English sentence you can say is a gentle no. You know, another thing I've noticed is that guilt often shows up because we imagine the other person's reaction.
Yes, we create a whole story in our head.
We think they'll be disappointed or annoyed or think we don't care enough.
And most of the time, none of that actually happens.
Exactly. The person usually just says, no worries, or maybe next time.
But before that happens, we've already gone through stress, doubt, and overthinking.
Especially when the message is sitting there waiting for a reply.
Oh, that waiting. You open the chat, close it, open it again. You rewrite the message 5 times.
And each version sounds either too cold or too emotional.
That's when people add words like just, or maybe, or I think.
I'm just not sure, or maybe I can't make it. Those words soften the sentence.
They make it feel less final, less scary.
And that's okay. Softening language is a very natural part of spoken English.
But there's a difference between softening and hiding.
Yes, softening is about kindness. Hiding is about fear.
When I hide, I feel tense. When I soften, I feel calm.
That's a really good way to explain it.
One sentence that helped me a lot was, I'm gonna pass this time.
That's a great phrase. It's polite, it's clear, and it doesn't need a long explanation.
And it sounds natural in everyday English. Not formal, not dramatic.
Another one I like is, I think I need a quiet day.
That sentence is honest, and it also invites understanding.
It tells the other person what you need, not what they did wrong.
Exactly. And when you say it calmly, people usually respond calmly.
Tone really changes everything.
It does. Even a simple no can sound warm if your tone is gentle.
That's why listening to conversations like this helps. You hear how English sounds in real life, not just on paper.
And you realize that native speakers also hesitate, soften, and choose words carefully.
We're not perfect, we just practice.
Another thing I learned is that you don't owe everyone the same level of explanation.
That's important. You don't need a full story every time.
Sometimes a short answer is enough, and that doesn't make you rude.
It makes you clear.
And clarity actually reduces guilt.
Because when you're clear, you don't feel like you're lying.
Exactly. Lying, even small lies, creates tension.
Honesty, when it's gentle, creates relief.
I remember the first time I said no without an excuse. I felt nervous, but also lighter.
That feeling of relief is a good sign.
It tells you that you respected yourself.
And when you respect yourself, your English sounds more confident too.
Yes, confidence isn't about strong words, it's about calm ones.
I love that.
So if you're listening right now and this feels difficult, that's okay.
It's normal. Saying no is a skill, not a personality trait.
And like any skill, it gets easier with practice.
You start small, one message, one sentence.
And slowly, the guilt loses its power.
Because you realize you're not doing anything wrong.
You're just choosing what works for you.
And expressing that in English, honestly and kindly.
Which is really what learning a language is all about. There's also something very important we haven't talked about yet. Sometimes people feel guilty because they think they're being selfish.
Yes, that word comes up a lot. Selfish.
But resting, saying no, or protecting your time isn't selfish. It's necessary.
Especially in a world where everyone is always busy and available all the time.
When you're tired and still say yes, you don't show up as your best self anyway.
You might be there physically, but mentally, you're somewhere else.
And then you feel annoyed, quiet, or distant, and that can affect the relationship more than a kind no would have.
That's such a good point. Saying no at the right time can actually be healthier than saying yes when you don't mean it.
I had to learn that the hard way. I used to go to things even when I didn't want to, and then I'd feel resentful.
Resentful is a strong word, but very honest.
Yes, I wouldn't show it on the outside, but inside I'd think I should have stayed home.
And that feeling builds up over time.
It does, and that's when guilt turns into frustration.
So in a strange way, guilt is sometimes a signal.
A signal that you're ignoring your own needs.
When you listen to that signal earlier, the guilt doesn't get so loud.
Exactly. One thing that really changed my mindset was realizing that other people say no too.
Yes, we forget that.
When someone says no to me, I usually understand. I don't analyze it deeply.
Same. I don't sit there thinking, why don't they want to see me?
I just think, okay, maybe another time.
Which means other people probably react the same way when we say no.
But our minds tell us a different story.
Our minds are very dramatic sometimes.
Very dramatic.
Another helpful thing is how you end the sentence.
Oh, yes, ending matters.
Ending with something warm like thanks for understanding can really change the feeling.
It does. It reminds both people that the connection is still there.
You're not closing the door, you're just pausing.
I also like saying, I hope you have a great time.
That's a good one. It shows support without pressure.
And it feels genuine when you mean it.
That's the key. Say what you actually feel.
Not what you think you should feel.
English becomes much easier when it's honest.
Especially spoken English. It doesn't need to be impressive, it needs to be real.
And real language includes limits.
Yes, boundaries are part of communication.
When you respect your own boundaries, people learn how to treat you.
And you teach them through calm, simple language.
That's powerful.
And very human.
If you're listening right now, you don't need to change everything at once.
Just notice the next time you feel that familiar guilt.
Pause before answering.
Ask yourself what you actually need.
And then choose words that feel kind to both you and the other person.
That's enough.
That really is enough.
Saying no doesn't make you a bad friend.
It makes you an honest one.
And honesty, when it's gentle, builds stronger connections.
Not weaker ones.
I wish someone had told me that earlier.
Me too.
Before we finish, I want to say something directly to the people listening right now.
Yeah, because this topic isn't just about English, it's about everyday life.
If you've ever felt heavy after saying yes or anxious while typing a reply, you're not alone.
And if you've ever felt guilty for choosing rest, that doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human.
Learning how to say no kindly is part of growing, not just in English, but in confidence too.
And the more you hear real conversations like this, the more natural these responses start to feel.
You stop translating in your head. You start responding from a calmer place.
That's why listening matters so much.
And if conversations like this help you feel a little more comfortable with English, a little more understood,
Then staying connected with the channel might be helpful for you.
we share these kinds of real-life English moments regularly, so you can keep listening, absorbing, and slowly building confidence.
You don't have to rush. Just showing up and listening is already progress.
Exactly. English doesn't grow through pressure. It grows through exposure.
And through gentle practice.
So the next time someone invites you somewhere, remember this conversation.
Take a breath.
Choose honesty over guilt.
And remember, a kind no is still kind.
Thanks for spending this time with us today.
We'll talk again very soon.
Until then, take care of yourself.
And keep echoing your English.